What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Reformed Reader, the channel where we review different forms of media through the lens of a Christian who is under the authority of the scriptures. My name is Josh, and today we're going to be doing our monthly wrap-up. So we're just going to kind of hang out a little bit, talk about this month on the channel, things that I read, and some things that are coming up on the channel this coming month. Without any further ado, let's start with what did I read? So rather than me hold up every book because I've got them in various places and some of them are out on loan, I'm just going to have them pop up somewhere right in here, starting with the first book that I read and finished, which is Howling Dark by Christopher Rocchio. Yeah, man, this book was fantastic. I gave this book a 10 out of 10. This is the best book that I've read all year. The ending to this book is just masterful. It's mind-blowing. It changes the way that I think about science fiction and fantasy books and really fiction in general. Such a phenomenal book. I highly recommend it. So if any of you had any doubts after Empire of Silence, fear not, because Howling Dark just blows everything out of the water. Now I'll say, if you're not really jiving with it after Howling Dark, this may not be the series for you, but I think for most people, Howling Dark is really, really going to resonate with them. So that's the first book that I read. The second book that I read was Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. Now I gave this book an 8.5 out of 10 over on Instagram. Again, guys, if you guys are interested, I post full reviews of every book that I read, like written reviews on my Instagram. And it's just really a way for me to catalog these things. So if you guys aren't and you're interested, yeah, give me a follow over there on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you guys over there. So Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. It was a really good read. It was a nice palate cleanse. It was something that was different, that was fresh. It was that murder mystery with some horror elements, with some supernatural elements. I really wasn't sure what I would think about it, and I actually really enjoyed it. So yeah, I gave that an 8.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed that book. And then I jumped into Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. Now, I had this one on the TBR for the year early on. This was one that I had been waiting to read for years, and finally pulled the trigger and said, you know what? I need to jump into this. And so I read Jurassic Park and I really enjoyed it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I definitely had some problems with it. Nothing major. It was still an excellent read. I still recommend it. But just in a nutshell, I personally hold the movie so near and dear to my heart that it was hard for me to remove my love for the film from the book. While I really enjoyed some of the changes that were in the book, as a matter of fact, those were the parts of the book that I enjoyed the most, were the changes. There were some changes that I can look at the movie and go, okay, that makes sense. And I'm glad they changed that. The biggest one is John Hammond. Not a fan of John Hammond in the book, and you're not supposed to be. But yeah, really enjoyed that book. I gave it an 8 out of 10. And then I read Star Wars Dark Lord, The Rise of Darth Vader. And this is written by James Luceno. This is the same author as Darth Plagueis. And you could tell. I gave this book a 6.5 out of 10. Now, some of you may be like, what? 6.5 out of 10? Because I love Darth Plagueis. But I will say, if this book would have strictly been about Vader, then this would probably be like a 9 out of 10. Maybe even a 10, depending on what it was. But definitely would have been a lot higher. But half of the book, you're following some Jedi that are on the run. I just didn't really care about any of that. I really wanted to learn more about Vader, about his internal struggles. And I will say, the chapter explaining the misery that he sits in being in his suit, one of the best chapters that I've ever read. It really makes you not just empathize with him, but also detest him even more. It really shows that he is much less man and much more machine. But yeah, I read this as a buddy read with some personal friends. It was a good read. I'll have that coming up on the channel real soon. And then lastly, I mean, I'm going to count it because technically, you know, I count my DNFs. I started Dragon Day, and this is written by Bob Prowl. This is an Audible exclusive. This is like a full cast. It's World War Z meets Reign of Fire. Really cool concept. Started real strong. And then just gradually, it was more and more inclusive. And I was like, I'm just not really having a good time with it. It was distracting for me, so I just put it down. So that was my one DNF. Yeah, overall, pretty good month. I mean, I read, 4 books. and 1 DNF, which I know you guys are like, oh, you DNF everything. I don't. I really don't. I don't want to DNF anything. But yeah, I read 4 books, and some of them were pretty thick, especially Howling Dark, and not to mention Part of Another, which I'll get into in just a minute. But yeah, pretty good month, pretty solid month. I mean, the average score is like an 8 out of 10, if not an 8.5. So, I mean, that's a pretty good month of reading. Now, before I move on to the next section, I did want to mention, yes, I did go back on what I said, and I didn't read Down Below Beyond or start my Raya Revelation. And I think this is what I've just kind of come to the conclusion of, which is Down Below Beyond is kind of that campy sci-fi from what I understand. And I was already so steeped in a sci-fi with Sun Eater that I didn't want to detract from that story because I'm reading Sun Eater. And similarly, you guys know I'm a mood reader. And so what I think I'm going to do, rather than keep pushing Rhaenyra off more and more and more, is I'm just going to say, you know what? Because Sun Eater has taken up so much of my time this quarter, I think I'm just going to not even include it as, well, I'll read it next month. I'll read it next month, because I don't want to keep getting you guys' hopes up that I'm going to read that. I am going to read it. I am going to read it. I just don't know when. And so what I think I'm going to do is it may be my big fantasy series for next year. So I may start that in January. I could start it a little bit later this year. Again, it just kind of depends on my mood. But for the most part, I plan on this being like the remainder of the year, sort of like a Sun Eater catch up with me, just because it has really overtaken my TBR this year. It's that good. Which leads me into the next section, which is, what am I going to read? Well, I've already read, at the time of recording this, about a third of Demon in White. And so I plan to continue that and to finish that. It's taking a little longer. Number one, it is longer. Number two, I've just had real life come up, and every time I sit down to read, I'll read a couple of chapters, and I have a difficult time just reading. And so I'll read a couple of chapters, and then I'll go find something to do to get busy. I almost feel guilty for just sitting down and reading, especially when I have things that I could be working on with the house, or, I have yard work, or taking the kids to the park, or, going on a date night with my wife, whatever. So those things pull me away, and rightfully so, because those are the priority. So I tend to be able to get a decent amount of reading in a day, but on average, I've got a little bit of time during the weekday. I've got a little bit of time each day that I can read, maybe on my lunch break and those kinds of things. And then normally I don't get to actively read until after we put the kids to bed, and I'll get maybe 2 to 3 hours of reading in an evening. So that's why it's taking me a little bit longer to get through this one. Not because it's bad, and not because it's slow or any of those things. It's just because I only have so much time in the day that I can devote to actively reading. And so I just want to allot that time wisely, or to capitalize on that time. So yeah, I'm going to continue on in Demon in White. And then if you guys watched my judging books by their covers video, I picked 5 books at random from the bookstore that I didn't know anything about, and said, you guys help me choose a book for next month. And for those of you that watched and commented, thank you so much. But for the most part, you guys picked that I'm going to be reading Pinata by Leopoldo Gout, I think is how you say his name. And it's a horror book. And so it's pretty thin. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. And if you guys like that kind of video, let me know down in the comment section below, because I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Plus, I kind of like just reaching for something that I have no idea what it is, and it's going to broaden my reading horizons. So it very well may be, it almost absolutely will be, a recurring theme on the channel. I don't know how frequently, but I do want to do it again, and I want to do it again soon. It was a lot of fun. And then I'm going to be reading Wagons and Wyverns by Z.S. Diamani. This is the second cozy fantasy by Z.S. Diamani. For those of you that have been following the channel, you know how much I loved Guard in the Garden. And so this is book number 2. It's not really a series. It's just another standalone cozy fantasy in this world. And so I'm really looking forward to that one. And then for audio, I'm going to listen to Monster Hunter Alpha. I'm jumping back into the Larry Correa Monster Hunter universe after listening to Jordan over at iWizard. After listening to his interview with Larry Correa, it made me push Larry Correa's books up on the list some more. I was like, why am I not going back to this? I had so much fun with it. So I'm going to jump into Monster Hunter Alpha. And I'm still planning on doing the buddy read with Sam of Under Heaven by Guy Gavriel Kay. And then I've got kind of a wild card slot here. And I'm thinking about just doing something off the wall and pulling something off my shelf. And so I've got one of 3 options that I want you guys to maybe help me choose. So one of them is a Spider-Man novel written by Jim Butcher. Now, for those of you that know, I'm a huge Jim Butcher fan. I love Dresden. And so he wrote a Spider-Man novel, and I found it at a thrift store, and it sounded really cool. So that's one. And then the other 2, I have 2 Batman novelizations. One is the novelization of The Killing Joke, and the other is a novelization of The Court of Owls, I think is the title. I'll have them somewhere right here. But yeah, I think maybe jumping into a novelization of one of the comic book characters that I love would be excellent. Plus they're short reads, and so I can kind of fly through those. So I think that would be a good, fun palette cleanse that is really kind of off the wall here. Or if you choose Spider-Man, it'll be on the wall. So yeah, let me know down in the comment section below which of those 3 I should pick. And then after all of that, and I plan to finish all of those, I'm most likely just going to jump back into Sun Eater with Kingdoms of Death. So I hope to be caught up with Sun Eater for when Shadows Upon Time comes out in November. I want to be able to read it along with everybody else. And just to put it frankly, Sun Eater has constantly been calling me back to it. The whole time I was reading Jurassic Park and several of the other books, after reading Howling Dark, I was like, why am I reading this? Just go back to Demon in White. So I have a good feeling that it will probably be a similar case with Kingdoms of Death. From what I understand, at the end of Demon in White, it's going to be very difficult for me not to jump right into it, which will take us into September. So that's a stacked month. But I do plan to get to all of these because aside from Sun Eater, most of these books are pretty thin. And so this leads me into what's coming up on the channel. Now, last month, I had a couple of videos that I didn't get to do quite yet. One of them was the 1-star review video where my wife goes and finds 1-star reviews of books that I 5-starred on Goodreads and that I have to try to guess them. We still plan on doing that. But logistically, it's a little more difficult because she's having to really sift through these 1-star reviews and find some that have substance that will, as far as like, it will give me an idea of what the novel is without giving it away. So it can't just be like, hey, this book is trash. And a lot of 1-star reviews are just that. Actually, as a matter of fact, most reviews are just somebody clicking the stars and then not actually writing a review. So thank you to my bride for taking the time and effort going through that. We do still plan on doing that. We're just not sure when yet because it's a little more work than we anticipated. But with that, I'm still going to be doing 1 book review every week and some type of short. I plan on bringing back Inappropriate Times for a book recommendation this month. I don't know how often I'm going to do it, so don't hold me to that, but I am going to do one at some point this month. But then other than, my standard videos, I'm going to do 2 separate videos with my bride this month. And so they're going to be some type of contest video where there are actual stakes. It's going to be pretty fun. One of them is going to involve just our bookshelves, and the other one is going to be full on media. And so, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to shoot that one. And my little ones are going to get to help us with that one. So that'll be really fun. And then I've got a couple of interviews coming up on the channel. There will be at least one on this channel very soon. Really excited about that. And then I'm going to be having some conversations with some other guys on YouTube, and I'm really looking forward to that. Those are always a ton of fun. You guys know how much I like to talk and ramble, so maybe I won't do that too much to my detriment. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So be on the lookout for those videos. But then I have another vlogging video because I really had a lot of fun with those. It was easy to shoot. It was fun. Got to get my kids interacted. And so I still plan to do my library video. Again, don't know when exactly these are going to fall in order, but be on the lookout for those because those are a lot of fun. Okay, so this brings me to my book haul for the month. And I want to again, just preface what I'm about to show you by saying I don't do huge book hauls because I normally don't have book hauls because I don't have the funding to have these big book hauls. But I did receive 3 things this month that I thought were really cool and wanted to share with you guys. And some of you have seen some of them already with my little shorts that I do where I do my book mail. Those are super fun to do. But I just want to go over a couple of them. The first one is, this is book 2 in the Rift War saga. This was from my Broken Binding subscription. Let's see if I can get the camera to show it here. So this is book 2. This is Silverthorn. It's really cool. Excellent end papers, inside cover art, and the exterior is, as usual, really, really wild. Yeah, super cool. Yeah, these books, these Broken Binding editions have made me move these books up on my list because otherwise I probably wouldn't have really read them. But yeah, because of the artwork, I'm thrilled about that one. So the second book I received from the Broken Binding again, this is one that I ordered some time ago and finally got, is Shogun. Now this one is one that I've really been waiting on. The only thing that I am not crazy about is the glossy cover. I much prefer these sort of matte covers with some of the little glossy bits that you can see. So I'm not super crazy about the glossy dust cover, but you know, I'm complaining. But this book is absolutely gorgeous. Sprayed edges are really, really cool. And again, it has this beautiful interior cover art. If I can get my camera to focus. A very simple but elegant naked hardback. And again, I'll do a book mail for this one as well. Already have shot it. I just haven't released it yet. Yeah, really, really cool. So those were the first 2. And then I received something super generous and awesome from a new friend, AC Wilson. And he is the author of the Gwambi tetralogy. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is book 2 because he sent me book 1 and 2, which crazy generous. Thank you so much. I can't believe somebody would even consider sending something to me. I find that just crazy, but this looks excellent. And the reason why I'm not holding up book 1 is because a friend of mine already pretty much stole it from me. So she really wanted to read it. So I loaned it out to her, and this is such a generous gift, and he signed them. Yeah, just so cool that he signed these for me. But I really wanted to show you guys one of the coolest things I've ever seen on a book, and I think you guys will appreciate this. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. But he has content levels on his books. So he shows that it's PG-13, and then he shows why it's PG-13. That is just next level, top tier. So my friend, my brother, AC Wilson, thank you so much. Guys, please go and support him. Please pick these books up. They're clean. They're clean fantasy. It's epic fantasy. Yeah, I can't wait to jump into these. I will jump into book 1 as soon as she gives me that book back. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're the man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so this leads me into the next portion, which is the book giveaway. Yeah, so I'm really thrilled to do something a little bit different this month. I'm going to be giving 2 books away this month. So the first book I'm going to be giving away is this hardcover copy of New Spring, which is the prequel book in the Wheel of Time. And this is practically brand new. It is a second or whatever. So yeah, really cool hardcover copy that I would love to send to one of you. So if you're interested in winning New Spring, you don't have to do anything other than please be subscribed to the channel and leave me a comment down below. Now, if you've already left a comment about one of these other things, just type in the comment section New Spring and you will be entered in the giveaway to win. So yeah, looking forward to getting this out to one of you. And the second book I'm going to be giving away is, because I love audiobooks so much and it makes it much more convenient for me to consume a story, I love audiobooks. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give away an Audible credit to one of you. So I'm just going to give an Audible credit. So yes, you do have to have an Amazon account. You have to have or create an Audible account or whatever. So this is an excellent opportunity for some of you who maybe you've been on the fence about audiobooks or with the cost or signing up for a subscription. This is an excellent way for you to get your feet wet. And so I want to get that out to one of you guys and just give an Audible credit. And this is good for any novel in their catalog. And so this is me saying, instead of me just picking a book for you, why don't you pick a book that you can't wait to read or would love to have and own the audiobook version? And so I'd love to give an Audible credit to one of you. So again, down in your comment, just type in Audible or audio credit, whatever. But again, you do have to be subscribed to the channel, not because I'm looking for the numbers, but it's because I want to say thank you to all of you who have been so supportive, so encouraging to me for the past 7 months on this channel. I just want to say, love you guys. Thank you guys. And this is just one way that I can give back to you guys for all the encouragement and love that you've shown me during this time. So thank you so much. But if you're interested in winning either one of these, just in your comment somewhere, type in the word New Spring and the word Audible. If you're interested in either one, you can be in the drawing for both. And so I will draw for these 2 weeks from this coming Friday, which will be August 8th. So on August 8th, I will release a YouTube short on who won each of these. So just please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. Leave me a comment down below of which book you would like to win or both, and I'll enter you into the drawing. It's that simple. And then on August 8th, I will announce the winners. So again, thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you. And finally, I want to do the channel spotlight. Now for the first channel, there's a very specific reason why I want to shout this channel out, and it is my brother Rowdy over at Rowdy Player One. Now, I was introduced to Rowdy through my brother Josh over at Already Overbooked and their discussion with the Sun Eater books. And as soon as I had not heard of him prior to that, but as soon as I'd heard them two discussing things, I'm like, that guy would be awesome to hang out with. I really would love to maybe shed some light on Rowdy's channel, because we all go through some difficult things, and Rowdy is just having to face some trials right now. And so I would love to see an outpouring of love for him and his channel, and maybe just leave him a comment, let him know that you're thinking about him. Because his channel is excellent. He has some really, really good content there, and he's a funny dude. He's just a great guy. So I would love it if, I've said, if you do nothing else for this video, if you guys do nothing else, go give Rowdy a follow, go subscribe to his channel. I know he's taking a little bit of a break, do some personal things. I just hope that it would really lift his spirits if he could see this outpouring of love from the book community here on YouTube, if we just support him during these difficult times, because I know you guys have supported me through some trials, even in this short period of time I've been on there. So please give Rowdy a subscribe and a follow, and plus go watch his videos, because they're fantastic. Quality of them, as far as like the audio and video quality, are next level, and on top of that, the content is top tier. So yeah, y'all go give Rowdy a shout and subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. And then sort of my booktube adjacent channel is there's a channel called Alan Ariza. I'm not sure which one it is, but this is another one of those channels that produces sort of ambient music. And specifically, I want to kind of shine some light on the Interstellar ambient soundtrack that he has on there, where he's got like a little, I think it has like Matthew McConaughey's little spaceman character floating into space. This is what I've been listening to when I read Sun Eater. So it fits so well. So if you guys are looking for some of that ambient sound to listen to while you're reading, or maybe some of you guys are like D&D campaign people, if you're looking for some of the ambient music or ambient sounds to have, that's an excellent channel to go and check out. And then just really quickly, one more channel spotlight is I want to spotlight my brother over at faithandfiction.bookclub. So it's faithandfiction.bookclub on Instagram. This is one of my Christian brothers. We are in a group chat together on Instagram. He has been such an encouragement to me. He has fantastic content on his account. And on top of that, he's an even better man, husband, father, and Christian brother. So y'all go give him a follow over on Instagram if you haven't already, because he's phenomenal. So guys, that's the month. That's the month that we had, and that's the month to come. Looking forward to a lot of great books. Had a lot of great books in this previous month. Thank you guys again so much for coming and hanging out with me and listening to me blab about some of the silly things that I did this month and some of the even sillier things to come, which I'm looking forward to. So again, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you on the next one.